Okay. So hi everyone. This is the second session of search engine optimization. So let me just do a recap of our last class. That was session one, where we understood how exactly the search engines work. So in the last class, in the session where how search engine works, we saw that there are four important steps or four important set of tasks that search engines do to give you the results. That is crawling, storing, processing and indexing, and ranking. So these are the four major steps. And we also understood that all these the first three processing is done before we actually enter any search query in the search engine site. So Google being the predominantly, the biggest search engine, and by market share, it holds around 90% of the market. So what I'm saying is that when you go to google.com and search a query, say best vegetarian restaurants in Mysore. So at the time of giving this query, it takes only around 0.97 seconds to come back with the results. So what is happening at the backend is that Google or any search engine for that matter is not actually going to all these websites and searching. They have got a copy of the entire World Wide Web in their servers. So how do they do that? They do that by doing these first three steps, that is crawling, storing, and processing and indexing. So crawling is nothing but we have bots or robots are nothing but agents or software program, automated program, which goes through all the web pages in the internet one after the other. And by going through these web pages, it will cover all the linked websites in the world. While doing so, it will go through the web pages, get the important content, and then send back this information back to the Google servers. So that is the storing part, wherein this information is sent back to different servers across the world. So with crawling and storing, Google achieves storing all the website information in the world. Now, after storing all this information, the next important step is that it has to be indexed. So at the time of crawling and storing, the Google server would be knowing about the different uh, keywords against which these websites are optimized. So there are certain tags which we use in SEO to optimize the websites, which we will be learning soon. So based on those keywords, Google would be indexing. Now, what is indexing? Whatever index that you see in the book. So you would have seen all these books would be having an index at the back, which will give a direct or fast route on checking which all words have occurred in words or topics rather occurred in which all pages. So instead of going through the book from page 1 to 100 or 1000, you can go to the index and find where exactly these keywords or topics have repeated or appeared. So that is index. So that same concept is used over here, wherein the content of the website is stored and from that it is indexed. When I say indexed, it will be like Google would be having a set of keywords. Google will search for these keywords in the content of the website, particularly in certain tags. And against those keywords, this website will be indexed. So it will say, if you take the example of best vegetarian restaurants in Mysore, so these keywords will be indexed, and to against these index, different websites will be tagged. So when we give the search query, Google will immediately know that which all websites are indexed against these keywords, and then take those bunch of websites. And then the next step is rank those websites according to relevancy and popularity. Okay. So yeah, that's about how search engines work. So you guys tell me whether everything is clear, because only once this concept is clear we can go to the actual search engine optimization. Even if it takes time, it's fine with me. I think the session is from 10 to 12, but even if it slips some minutes, I'm fine with that. But I just want to make sure that you guys are clear. Okay. Okay. Sheikh Shaul says perfectly clear. I guess Sheikh, your the message, the chat is directly to me. You can address the chat to the entire audience, so everyone will be able to see that. Okay. Anyone else? Any doubts over here? Yeah. Thanks, Sheikh. Yeah. Okay. So I think now we can directly go to how exactly we do the search engine optimization. So for that, we have on-page optimization and off-page optimization. So I said relevancy and popularity. So the ranking is done based on relevancy and popularity. So what is relevancy? How close your website or your content is, towards the search query given by the user. How relevant your content is, that is relevancy. So when you search for best restaurants in Mysore, you should not be given, best bookstalls in Bangalore. I mean, that's completely irrelevant. A person is looking for something in Mysore, he's looking for food in Mysore, and inside food he's looking for vegetarian restaurants. So giving something completely irrelevant or different in a different city is completely disconnected. That is not required. So your website will be ranked based on the relevancy. How close your website's content is towards the search query. That is the first thing. That is relevancy. Hello. Yeah, I think it was a mistake. Yeah. So how do we make sure the relevancy? That is done by the on-page optimization. That is on the website, on the web page, you can do a set of SEO strategy and tactics based on which Google will understand that your website is relevant for the user's query. That is on-page optimization. And second thing is popularity. So just because you are connected to the query doesn't mean that your website will be ranked higher. Along with relevancy, your website should be popular. And how do Google measure the popularity? It is based on how linked you are with other popular websites, and that can be achieved using the off-page optimization. So off-page optimization will have the strategies and tactics for improving your linking with other websites, and that activity has to be, it is not at all a technical activity, it is completely a marketing activity which you have to do outside your website. It will be done in your real world. Okay, so we'll come to the details now. So in on-page optimization, these are the important things that we use in on-page optimization. The most important concept that we need to understand here is the keyword usage. What are keywords and how effective it is? All other concepts in on-page optimization is driven around keywords. All other things that you see, that is title tags and meta description, header tags, URL structure, image, alt text, internal links and sitemaps. All these are linked to the keywords. So any point on what keywords are? So I'll take the example of this business, which is pretty popular now. It is Practo.com. This is a website where you can search and view doctors and other medical professionals, and you can view all the details, reviews and feedbacks about the doctor, and you can book appointment with the doctor or other healthcare professionals like lab tests, etc. So this is a web portal created for that purpose. Now we will do certain exercises based on this Practo.com. So if we go to Google, so before we come to Practo.com as such, we will see how Practo has done the search engine optimization. So we will go to Google and we will search for best pediatricians or any doctors. in let's see what all things come. Yeah. So this first two that you see is the search engine marketing. You see that ad icon over there. So that is not part of SEO. So let's go down and then see what all things have come. Yeah. So yes, yeah. So Practo has come in the first result. So basically what it sees here is that Practo has done the search engine optimization for keywords best pediatricians in Delhi. So this is the search query that we have typed. So for these set of keywords, Practo has done this SEO. So if you look, it has given pediatricians in Delhi, instant appointment booking, view fees, etc. So at the start of the business, what Practo or any business has to do is that SEO working for Practo would work with the business, understand how their business works, what sort of users come over here, and based on that they will prepare a list of keywords. Keywords are nothing but the words used, the important words used in your search query against which your business will be identified. So those are keywords. So over here, the SEO consultant who worked with Practo would have identified a certain set of keywords, and using these keywords, the on-page optimization would be done. So let's go in detail to the keyword analysis. Before we, so how exactly is this done? How exactly is this exercise done? It's not a simple one. This is more of a marketing mindset that we need over here. So as a SEO consultant, you need to ask business who your users are. So what sort of users do you have? What are the user segments? The SEO consultant has to understand the different user segments and also understand within the segments what are the needs and wants of the users. What exactly are the users looking for when he's searching for these services? What are the keywords, the probable keywords that the user will be giving? So there will be sample persona like this that you'll have to create. Okay. So let's take a step back and go back to Practo.com and understand how this SEO, search engine optimization consultant would have worked in Practo. So what are the who are the customers here? Would you guys be able to figure out who are the probable customers of Practo.com? Are those people who already know about Practo? So the point here is that people who know, people who know about Practo would directly go to Practo.com and do it, right? So people would not be, ideally people would not be searching for Practo in the Google web search. What they will be looking for will be services. They'll be looking for things like pediatricians in Bangalore or a cardiac surgeon in Calcutta. We will be searching for that, or diagnostic centers around a particular place. So they'll be having a requirement, and based on that requirement, they will be doing the Google search. So what we have to do is that first understand the users. The Practo business team has to understand who their users are. So they will come up with certain attributes like the users are predominantly young people who are well versed in technology, who use Google a lot for uh, their requirements for searching stuff. They will be people who will be using smartphones. So they'll be creating certain personas like this. So they'll say that they'll first say certain ranges. The age group will be from say 25 to 40, male or female, and the financial status of whether they'll be working for MNCs or whether they'll be working for smaller companies. So based on that, they'll create certain user segments. And for each of these segments, the business leads will come back with what all search queries they'll be using, what all things they'll be searching for. Maybe a person between 25 to 40 would be searching for, yeah, so would be searching for pediatric stuff for his kids. Maybe people above 40 would be looking for uh, cardiac surgeons. So based on this, the query will be different. So we'll have to figure out or sketch out the user persona. What kind of people are these? And then figure out what all are the probable search queries and what are the keywords which will be driving these search queries. Now, once we have identified the keywords, that's when your search engine optimization, the on-page optimization, starts. Okay. So, what all things can we optimize over here? The first thing that we can do is title tags and meta description. So, the first part that we have to check is that are there enough uh, uh, appropriate keywords being framed in the title tag and also in the meta description. What is title tag now? So I am clicking on this link, pediatricians in Delhi. Are you guys able to see the screen? You see, when I am hovering over here on the on top of this browser, it shows a description, right? Pediatricians in Delhi, instant appointment booking, view fees, feedbacks, Practo. So this that you see over here is the title tag of this web page. So each page that Practo has will be having a title tag like this. So title tag is something that you can see over here when you hover your mouse over the browser header. This is the title tag. So for this particular page, they have given pediatricians in Delhi, instant appointment booking, view fees, feedback, Practo. Now, if you go back, it's the same thing over here. In the link that you see, whatever written is the title tag. So this is the first step in search engine optimization, in the on-page optimization. What you have to do is that for every page that you have in your website, that page should be having the appropriate keywords in the title tag. So based on what your customers would be searching, based on that you'll have to come up with a list of keywords and then put those keywords appropriately on the title tag. And then the description that you see over here, this part, this is the meta description. So in the meta description also it has given pediatricians in Delhi, book doctors appointment online, view fees, user feedback, etc. So based on this only, Google has done the ranking. Now this title tag influences your search engine ranking very much. But if you look at the meta description, the meta description does not affect your SEO ranking. Meta description is only for the users to understand when they view the results in the search engine results page. So whatever you give in the title tag influences your ranking and makes sure that your website comes in the top 10 of all the search results. Remember, your job as an SEO is to make sure that your website comes in the top 10 in the search result. If it doesn't come in the top 10, you're going to lose out on your customer because the customer generally don't click on the next links in the Google search engine results page. So to make your website come in the top 10, you have to use the title tag. But once the user sees the results, then instead of clicking on the link directly, most of the users will read what is the description. And this description is called meta description. So over there also you have to give a detail on what your business is about. Okay. So this is how title tags and meta description works. Now coming to the technical part, how exactly this would be. If you look at the view source, if you just go to any website and do a view source, you will see a description of, you will see a tag over there. So as a SEO, you don't have to go into the technical details, but let me just show you once. Here, this is the meta tag. This is the tag I am talking about, and there will also be a title tag somewhere. In some of the websites, they don't display all the code due to security reasons, and you won't be able to see that. So generally you will be having a tag called title over here, and it will have the keyword put over there. Okay, yeah. So you don't have to learn HTML completely, but you might need to understand the different tags used in HTML for SEO. Okay. So that is about title tag and meta description. Now, one more thing is that every page, there will be a number of pages, right? There will be a lot of pages for Practo.com. If you just focus on Practo.com itself, there will be a number of pages. Like if you take one of the hospitals over here or one doctor over here, that will go to one page here. So this is another page that you see. So I think Practo will be having some 10,000 or 20,000 doctors, and for each doctor, Practo will put up a web page. So for each doctor, a web page will be created. Okay, can you please explain once more meta tag? You mean meta description, right? Title tag and meta description. Of that, you want to. So title tag, is that clear? Okay, yeah. So it's only about meta description. So yeah. So title tag is what you see over here. This part is the title tag. And the meta description is this one. The description which comes below is the meta description. Okay. So as part of SEO, what we are saying is that we need to do the optimization for both title tag and meta description. In both these points, we have to put the appropriate keywords. But whatever keywords that you put in title tag will influence your search engine optimization, which will actually help you to take your website above the rank. But whatever information that you put in the meta description, that is this part, doesn't actually help in the SEO part, but instead it will help the users who come to the search engine results page to understand what your website is about. Okay, so I'll take one more example. I'm giving best photographers in Bangalore. Let's forget about this CM. Yeah. So I get, I'm searching for best, I'm looking for a photographer in Bangalore, and I gave best photographers in Bangalore. So these are the search results that I'm getting. So the first result is top professional photographers in Bangalore, Canberra. So this is the title tag. So they have optimized, they have done the on-page optimization on these keywords like top professional photographers in Bangalore. So based on these keywords, they have done the optimization. Due to that, when I gave this query, best photographers in Bangalore, this website came up. Now, okay, yeah. And then in this meta description, best professional photographers in Bangalore, hire budget photographers for services in wedding photography, candid wedding, pre-wedding shoot, fashion, etc. So this is the meta description. Now, if you look at, you can see that in the meta description, they have given more description, more detailed description about their business, how exactly they are doing. But this meta description did not influence the ranking. This meta description is only given so that when the customers, when the users come in, they will know what exactly are they getting. Like from the description, they will get to know what this business is about. From the title tag, they might not be able to get everything. So one more point is for title tag, there is a restriction. This is one important thing. So for title tag, there is a restriction of around 60 to 70 characters. So generally we don't put more than 70 characters. And this restriction is dependent on the search engine which you are using. Now, why is that restriction? Because if you don't put a restriction, if the search engine does not put a restriction, it will be a performance issue for the search engine. So that's the reason they say that Google says that they will read only the first 70 characters. So whatever you give after 70, it will not be read by Google. So it doesn't matter. It won't do any. It won't have any impact on your ranking. So only the first 70 characters will have the impact. Now with this first 70 characters, you might not be able to completely convey what your business is about. So for that, you have to write the meta description. So in the meta description, you can have a lot of characters, and people do all sorts of things like this, making it in bold, capital, so that it will get the attention of the people. So basically, meta description is only for the human user to understand what this business is about. Okay, is that clear about meta description? So now one question. The query that I've given is best photographers in Bangalore. But if you look at the keyword, they have, even though I asked for best photographers in Bangalore, in the result it has given top also. Why is that so? Best and top are different words, right? Different keywords. It seems like it's different keywords. Now the point over there is something called NLP. There is natural language processing, which is done by Google and every search engine. Now what NLP does is that it will actually understand the language that we speak. So when I say best photographers, the NLP engine in Google understands that best, top, good, excellent, premium, all these means almost the same thing. So that is the reason, because you cannot do SEO for each and every keyword, right? So suppose you are the owner of this Canvera, which has come in the top 10. You are doing SEO for Canvera. Now you cannot do SEO for all specific words that people use. People might use top photographers. People might use beautiful photographers, best photographers, innovative photographers. They can use a lot of words, right? You cannot end up doing search engine optimization for each and every word which looks similar. So you can do it for some top or the major keywords, and the remaining keywords which are similar to it, Google will be using that. Google will be able to understand that. Even though I am asking for best photographers, best photographers and top photographers are one and the same. Google will understand. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing is that you need to make sure that you use the right keywords, best, top, etc. So in this context, you don't generally go for a keyword like cheap photographers, right? I mean, people don't generally search for something like cheap photographers. People will look for, uh, say, cheapest, shopping in Singapore, something like that. People might look, or cheapest smartphone. People will look for that, or cheapest smartphone in India below 5,000, below 10,000. Those are correct keywords. But when it comes for something like photography, people don't use the word cheapest. People use the word best. They might use the word deluxe, or top photographer, good photographer, or popular photographer, famous photographer. So these are the words will be used. So based on the business, you will have to based on the business and based on your understanding about the users, you will have to frame your keywords. Okay, so is that fine for title tag and meta description? So tips are that be accurate, don't target many words on one page. So don't target many words on one page. So the point is you can have multiple pages. Okay, so based on your keywords, you can have multiple pages and multiple title tags, and all these can lead to the similar content. That is possible. So you are in our example on understanding the users, we said that there will be different kinds of users and different types of keywords will be used. The person will end up in the same business using the same service, but the way the person reaches there will be different. The way different people reach there will be different. So what you can do over there is that you can have multiple pages for the same content, so that you can have different title tags. Okay, so that you don't end up having one page with different kinds of words in a title tag. So do not do the stuffing of keywords in the title tag. Then optimize length for results page, and keyword placement and order. So even the keyword placement, which word comes first, will matter. Okay. Next is header tags. So this is a simple thing, and it doesn't have much influence. This used to have a big influence earlier. I think I'll have to remove this part. It's not very much required. It's just to make you understand how this is related to how SEO works actually. Now, what are header tags? It's nothing but how information is structured in your website. This will be done by default by your website designer. So SEO consultant need not worry about this. But if the website designer is not taking care of this stuff, you can uh, tell him about this, saying that these are important design aspects. It's nothing but when you go to a website, there should be a structure for the website, saying what should be the header and what should be the subheadings, and under the subheadings, what are the different details which are put together. So basically, we need a structure and hierarchy for your website, for your web page, each of your web pages. And this helps for on one side, the human user, and also for the robots or bots which are doing the crawling on your website. So this part is pretty intuitive. That is, any website you build, it has to have a structure and hierarchy. If you have a structure and hierarchy, it will be easy for the user to understand the content of the website. That is one good thing. Second, even the bots will find it easier to crawl through the different contents of the website. So the moment these header tags are encountered in the web page, the bots will understand that what comes on top, what comes on bottom, which are the main headings, which are the subheadings. So it will understand that. Okay. So this is a basic stuff, intuitive stuff, which pretty much every designer these days will take care of. So we don't have to worry about that. And because of that, it doesn't have much direct influence on the ranking. But if you don't do that, you'll actually lose out on the bots who crawl to your website and try to collect information, because bots will not have the complete set of information. Yeah. Now, the next important thing after title tag, which influences your search engine optimization, is the URL structure. Now we'll go back to that Practo example. So I'm looking for best pediatricians. We take this. Take one of the doctor. See, this is the URL that you see over here, right? So what the URL says is that practo.com/Delhi/doctor, and then Dr. Pawan Kumar, pediatrician. Don't worry about whatever is written after this question mark. Those are parameters. We don't have to worry about that. So basically, the point here is that you need to you have the ability, or you have the option of putting the keywords at the URL level itself. So if you look over here, you can see that the city Delhi is given, and then there's a folder called doctor, and under which the doctor's name is there. So that URL structure is important. And the most important thing is that all these are dependent on the main URL, which is practo.com. So one important point that you need to understand here is that taking a step back, the aspects of SEO that you do and the popularity of your website is built over a period of time, right? So you know that, you have experienced that. So when you build a website and you do some certain search engine optimization tactics, You go out in the real world, interact with people, and invite people to visit your website and link your website with other popular sites. You do all these things and become more and more popular. This popularity will come over a period of time, say a minimum of 1 or 2 years. Okay. Now, where do you link this popularity? I mean, who is actually becoming popular? As a website owner, are you becoming popular? Is that the point? No, it's not about you as a person or a company. The guy or the point who's becoming popular is this URL, this main URL, whatever you see, the practo.com. So, whatever popularity or whatever credibility that you're building with Google goes to the main domain, the practo.com. So that is the reason all the pages under Practo.com, all the pages owned by this company called Practo would always be under Practo.com. So tomorrow, if they want, they will not start a new site called Practo India or Practo Doctors. The moment they start something like that, they will lose the popularity and credibility or the equity that they have developed for Practo.com. That cannot be transferred. So when you create a URL, the first and foremost thing that you need to make sure is that you always use the main domain, because all the popularity that you build, all the credibility that you build and equity that you build is tied to the main domain. So always start with your main domain and then you build a structure. So the structure should be built based on your business again, whether the city name should come first or whether the doctor or nurse or diagnostic should come first, that is the function. So all those things you'll have to discuss with the business and understand how exactly their business runs, and based on that you need to build the structure of the URL. And also, as much as possible, try to put keywords in the URL. So if you look at this URL, the only keyword that they used is Delhi and doctor. This Dr. Pavan Kumar is not a proper keyword to be used. Pediatrician is also there. So pediatrician, Delhi, doctor. So these three keywords they have used effectively in this web page. So if you go to any other examples like that, you will see that they have opted for appropriate keywords even in the URLs. So if I go to Canvara, so Canvara is a portal where you can find and book photographers. It's a portal based out of Bangalore. I don't know whether it's there in other cities. Yeah, it's there in Chennai, Delhi, Kolkata. Yeah, so if I come over here again, yeah, you can see the URL photographers.canvara.com, top wedding photographers in Bangalore. This is a very good example of putting the right keywords in the URL. Okay, so in the title tag you can see best wedding photographers in Bangalore, and in the URL you can see they have given the keyword top wedding photographers in Bangalore. Okay, so is that fine? Is that understood? Okay, good. So yeah, these are the points of URL structures. Choose URL that should fit the business. Include keywords in URL. Do not use too many subdirectories in URL. Yeah, that's another point. Your URL should not be very long. The longer your URL would be, the less relevant it will be for the Google search. Then develop subdirectories by leveraging the SEO equity of the home page. This was the first point I was mentioning again and again. Just a second, please hold on. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so this was the first point I was mentioning repeatedly. Develop subdirectories by leveraging the SEO equity of the home page. That is how here the main domain is the photographers.canvara.com. So they have leveraged that. Okay. Include keywords in files and subdirectories. So we saw that the first thing in on-page optimization is that we need to identify the keywords, and after identifying the keywords, you need to fit these. Yeah, you need to fit these keywords in the title tag and URL. So these are the two important places that you need to fit these keywords. You also have to work a little on the meta description, even though it doesn't affect your SEO ranking. It should affect the users. The users will be reading your meta description before clicking on the link. So these are most important stuff that you have to do. And even the as my experience being an SEO, the major part of your effort or research will go on identifying the keywords. Once you identify the keyword, the remaining part, like putting it in title tag, putting it in URL, so all these things are more of technical work which are easier to do. But the most important and the most crucial part is identifying the keywords. That's where you will lose some time. That's where you'll have to do. You'll have to have multiple discussions with the different stakeholders, different business users, and understand what exactly the user will be looking for. And one flip side for this activity is that after doing all this research, you cannot spend too much time on the research. I'll tell you why. You do the research, understand the keywords, and start implementing the keywords in URL and the title tag. And you have to measure the result. It will take some time. It will take some time, like 3 or 4 weeks, for you guys to understand whether your research was right. It won't be instantaneous. You'll have to spend some time. After 3 4 weeks, once you evaluate, Google has got a lot of tools to evaluate how well your website is ranked. Even though your website won't come in the initial ranking, you can know whether it has moved from 100th positions to 50th position. Is there any progress for your SEO? There are different tools provided by Google. So using those tools, you'll have to analyze where you're going. So if say you are improving in your ranking, that it means that the keywords that you used and the way it has been structured in your URL and title tags are making sense. Okay. So you can continue in that way. So you can continue holding the discussions and conducting research and coming up with better keywords. Okay. Otherwise, you'll have to brainstorm again and say that, hey, the users that we have figured out or the keywords that we have figured out are not appropriate. There are issues with that. Then you might have to start from scratch and see where you have gone wrong. Okay. Now, one final thing in the on-page optimization, that is the sitemap. There is something called sitemap in any website. If you go to any website, any company site and all, you will see a sitemap at the bottom. Let me see, it is there for Canberra. So it is usually at the bottom, which is put. Yeah, they have a sitemap. It's not very good. They have just put other pages you may want to see. This is not a proper sitemap. Let me see. This is the main page, I think. Yeah. No, even, yeah, downloads, delivery, yeah. So this is one sitemap that we have. So if you look at the bottom, there is a contact us option, and beside that you have different links. This is a sitemap. Or I can go to a website. I'm just checking out Infosys website. Typically, the company websites have a better sitemap. Yeah, this is the proper sitemap. What you see over here. Okay, at the bottom. So under about overview, blogs, res, subsidiaries, programs. So there are different stuff given. So this is the HTML sitemap. So actually, if you're going to any website and you don't know where to go to and all, you just go to the sitemap, which is at the bottom, which is typically at the bottom of the website, and see how the website is arranged, which all pages are put in which all locations, and you can click on a particular page and check it out. So this is the HTML sitemap. So an HTML sitemap helps the human user to browse through the website, to go through the different pages in the website. It's a simple thing. Now, similar to HTML sitemap, we have a separate sitemap XML. Okay, we have a separate sitemap XML. Who is this sitemap XML put for? That's a question. So I told in the beginning in the search engine how search engine works. We understood that there is something called bots, the robots, which will crawl through your website. Now, how exactly it will crawl through your website? How exactly will the robot understand what all things are there in the website? It understands that through the XML sitemap. Okay, so any website that you visit, if that website has to be SEO enabled, it needs to have a XML sitemap. So looking at this XML sitemap, the robots will understand what all are the different pages in this particular web page and how it is linked, how exactly this web page is structured. So all this information is provided in the XML sitemap. Now, how will the robots reach the sitemap? There is something called robots.txt. So this robots.txt is the first place where you have to put the information which the robots can read. So I'll take the robots of txt of Proctor.com. See, any website you go, any website which has done some basic search engine optimization will have a robots.txt at the header level. So you take any website, Practo, Amazon, Flipkart, any website you take, you give the main domain name and /robots.txt, you will get a page like this. So this is the first page that your Google crawler will hit. So when the Google crawler or the robot goes through different web pages, each domain it hits, it will first give the domain name /robots.txt. Once it gives that, it will understand where the sitemaps are and whether it is allowed to enter which all pages of the website. Okay, can you guys try that now? Just go to any website like Practo or Flipkart, Amazon. Just go there and give /robots.txt. And I want everyone to try out that. Are you guys able to see my robots.txt? The robots.txt from Practo.com. Are you guys able to see the screen? Hello. Akib, Sheikh, Chandrasekhar. Okay, Prasoon. Yeah, thanks, Prasoon. Yeah, so did you try any other website from your computer? Can you try something like amazon.in/robots.txt? Just try that. Amazon or Flipkart. Just let me know what you see. Maybe I'll take it over here. Slash. Yeah, this is Flipkart one. So this is the robots.txt of Flipkart. So robots.txt is the first entry point for the bots from Google who will be doing the crawling. So it's very important that we give the correct and appropriate information to robots. So to give that, the first page that we have is the robots.txt. So your website, the first thing as an SEO that you have to do is that you have to put up a robots.txt in your web domain so that your so that the entry point for the crawling bots is given, so that the bots can come to your website and go through the different pages. Now in the robots.txt, the most important part is that you have to indicate which is your sitemap, where your sitemap is located. You will be having only one robots.txt for your main domain. That's it, only one robots.txt. And in that robots.txt, you can indicate which all are your sitemaps. Sitemaps can be multiple based on your need. You can have one sitemap which will contain the entire site, or you can have different sitemaps. Like in Flipkart, they have sitemap D, O, Q, etc. But if you look at Practo, they have sitemaps for different countries. So they have a main sitemap for everything in India and in general, and then they have separate sitemap for Singapore, Philippines, etc. So it depends on your business. Flipkart, as it doesn't have business outside India, they have segregated the sitemap based on their catalog, it seems. So I can give that over here and see how their sitemap is. So how they have done is, you can do this in multiple ways. Either you can put the sitemap directly in that domain, or you can zip it and keep it. This is a zip file, .gz file. Now if I hit this, I'll be able to download a zip file. I guess I've already downloaded some of the sitemap. Let me check it out here. Yeah, this is one sitemap that I got from Practo. This is how sitemaps look. Yeah, let's just look at one of the URL in the sitemap. So in this way, the sitemap will contain all the URLs. So all the URLs which you want the robots to crawl and store, you have to expose that in the sitemap. So the URLs which are not exposed to the sitemap will not be taken up by your robots. I mean, by the Google or search engine robots. Okay. So in this sitemap, in the URL, you will see that Proctor.com, Mumbai therapist. So each doctor's web page will be registered in the sitemap. So as an SEO, if you are asked, is there any process to be done when a new doctor or a new clinic is being onboarded to Proctor.com? What would you say? So the question is, as a search engine optimization consultant who works for this company called Practo, who is in the business of supplying doctors and clinics, giving out all the details of those doctors and clinics. If you're in that business and if you're a CEO for Practo, you're being asked, is there any aspect of SEO to be considered? Is there any task to be done for SEO as and when we onboard a doctor? So the Practo's website is having a lot of doctors. So every day they are onboarding or they are registering new doctors. So as and when a new doctor is registered in Practo, in the SEO perspective, what would they have to do? They have to make sure that that particular doctor has one individual web page. Okay, that doctor's information is put in one web page, and that web page has to be registered in the sitemap. Only if it is registered in the sitemap, the Google bots will be able to reach that website and retrieve information that website and store in the Google servers. This can be done only if robots have access to that website or that web page. Robots will have access to that web page only if we put that entry in the sitemap.xml. and that sitemap.xml should be there in the robots.txt. Okay, so it should come over here. Sitemap should be there in the robots.txt, and inside the sitemap that doctor should be registered. Is that part clear? Okay, great. These are actually simple things. These are kind of operation stuff that you have to do, and you have to understand why you are doing that. So as an SEO, you have to make sure that robots.txt is there. In the robots.txt, you have to list down the sitemap.xml. In the sitemap.xml, you have to list down the web pages. And next, when you go to that web page, it should have the right keywords put in that URL. And again, inside the website code, you need to have title tag and meta description put. That's it. That's it. That's all we have in on-page optimization. It's as simple as that. So the first thing in on-page optimization is that you need to have the right keywords. That is the exercise that you'll be doing, research that you'll be doing, where you'll be spending a lot of time and effort. Once you have the right keywords prepared, then the next thing that you have to do is that you have to make sure that you have a proper robots.txt in the main domain. If your domain is practo.com, it should be at the main domain without any subdirectories. A robots.txt, this exact word should be used. Robots.txt should be there. Inside the robots.txt, you will register all the sitemaps, and inside the sitemap, you will register the web page for that particular doctor or hospital. And then once you register, you also have to make sure that you give the proper URL structure. The URL has to always start with the main domain so that you are able to leverage the SEO equity of the main domain. And in the URL, inside the URL, make sure that you use the keywords as much as possible. Now, inside the website, make sure that you use the proper title tag. This one, this is the title tag. Okay, so that's all which is part of the on-page optimization. Okay, guys, so you are experts in on-page optimization, right? No doubts. So next we have to go to off-page optimization. Before that, we'll take a break. We'll come back in 5 minutes. So before that, just one question, guys. Did you guys complete the assignment which was given last week? Has everyone submitted the assignment? Because I did not get any update from Sunstone portal. Usually I get updates from the portal saying that the assignment has been submitted. I did not get the update this time. Okay, okay. Maybe something is missing. I'll ask Ashish to mail me the assignments. Okay. Okay, fine. I'll ask Ashish, no problem. So yeah, we'll get back at 11:20. Is that fine? We'll take a 10 minutes break. We'll be back at 11:20, and then we will go with off-page optimization. Off-page optimization as a concept is much simpler than on-page optimization. As a concept, it is simpler, but to do that, it's more tougher. It is in the real world. Okay, it's not in the website, or it's not with the website designers that you do. It is not inside the building that you do. You have to get out of the building. Okay, so we'll cover off-page optimization next, and after that we'll have a discussion on the next assignment. Thanks, guys. We'll get back at 11:20. Hey guys, can you see the screen? Okay, yeah, fine. Yes, so we are back now, and we have completed the on-page optimization. So the next that we are going to look into is off-page optimization. So on-page optimization was about relevancy, right? How relevant your web page is towards the query. And off-page optimization is the popularity. So we had understood that ranking is predominantly driven by two factors. One is relevancy. First one is relevancy, and second one is popularity. And for relevancy, we have to do on-page optimization, which are certain uh, tasks and tactics that you have to do inside the website page. It's more technical, and the marketing aspect to it is understanding the keyword. Once you understand the keyword, there are certain tags like title tag and the URL where you have to appropriately position the keywords. And you need to make sure that you have the robots.txt and sitemap XML properly configured. So that's about on-page optimization, which will drive your relevancy. Now, coming to popularity, the work has to be done off the page. That is, the work that you're doing will not be part of your website. It will not be directly on your website, but rather the effort will be put in the real world. Okay. So, popularity in the context of off-page optimization refers to the hyperlinks of your website across the web. The very reason it is called off-page optimization. So, it's not in your website; it is outside your website. So, what exactly is this linking? So, is it about talking about the links within your website? No, right? That is links within your website doesn't matter. So, okay, let's take a step back and understand who are these popular website. You take any domain, there would be a set of popular sites, right? So, guys, you just tell me which all websites you visit. You can put in the chat window. Apart from Google and Facebook, they are not websites. They are social network and search engine. So they are into certain business, right? So let's just talk about websites. Which other websites other than Google and Flipkart do you Google and Facebook do you visit? Okay, good. What is this onlineustad.com? What does it do? Yeah, Sheikh, you can put that. What is this website do? What is their business? Yeah, education, e-commerce, and digital marketing coaching. Yeah, good. So you might be visiting websites like this, different websites. So if you take a particular domain, say now Sheikh Shaulas uh, talked about onlineustad.com, which belongs to the education, e-commerce, and digital marketing coaching. So basically, it's education domain. We can say education domain. Now, in the education domain, there will be certain companies or websites which are very popular. Uh, when I say popular, it will be popular both in the real world and in the virtual world. So one example that which comes across my mind, which is a website which is popular across the world, is in education. I'm saying it is Coursera.com. Not sure whether guys would have seen that. This is Coursera.com. .org. So this is a website hosted by top universities and where you get a lot of courses. So this website is pretty popular. It is having millions of users every day. There are a lot of registered users who are attending courses in this website. So like that, there are other websites again called EDX. EDX is another one. EDX.org, I think. So these are some of the popular websites in the education domain. So the point I'm saying is that if this onlineustad.com, if that website which Sheikh told about, if they get a linking from any of these top websites, it will be a link equity for them. Okay. So in link building, what we need to understand is the link equity. Not all links are the same. So if you get a link from a popular website, that adds a big value for you. Okay. Now let's take the example of say news portals. News portals are a very good example where you can get linking. So when you talk about news portals, you have NDTV, CNIBN. All these channels have got portals in or websites where they publish their news along with their publishing of news in the TV. So in these reports, if you get any linking to your website, then that adds value, right? Because organizations like NDTV and CNIBN has got credibility, at least in the Indian news space. So if their websites give a link to your website, that will add big value to you. Okay. So that is the link equity. Not all links are the same. And it works both ways. That is popular websites and websites of reputed business or government website. They are high in link equity. And getting a link from their site would increase your link equity. And it would increase your popularity. And it works the other way for websites which are blacklisted. There are websites over there which are blacklisted by the search engine due to various reasons, which I'll explain shortly. So if you get a linking from those websites, that will affect your ranking. It will make your website lesser popular and it will decrease your ranking. That's what you need to understand. Now the next thing is, how do you exactly build this link? Yeah, that is a question that we have to address now. How to link our website with popular website? That's a question now. Now that's not easy. That is the area that where we'll have to put major effort a lot. What you have to do is that in websites, the most important thing is the content. Content is the king. So you have to generate as much content as possible. When I say as much content as possible, it has to be huge. You cannot just sit there and write some 10 or 15 blogs. That's not enough. You need to generate lot of content. What happens when you generate lot of content is that people will start referring to that content. Okay. I'll explain that with the context of Practo again. Let's go to Practo. Now, you guys had a fair understanding about the Practo business, right? How their business runs. Basically, they list down all the doctors and hospitals in their website. People search for hospitals and doctors, come to their website, and maybe they will book appointment and do some activity in the website. Based on that activity, the Practo company will get money from the doctors or from the healthcare providers, from labs, from hospitals, etc. They don't charge the users, but for the services taken by the user, they get a commission from the business. That's how their model works. Okay, that's fine, right? That's understood, right? Now, when you go down in Practo.com, you will see that there are a lot of blogs or articles written by a lot of people. I'm just clicking the more articles link to show all the articles in Practo.com. Now they have given articles on 3 symptoms to identify vitamin D deficiency, a lot of articles, a lot of health related articles. Now the question is, why did they write all these articles? What is this content all about? Are they making money using these articles? They're not making any revenue from these articles. All these articles they are writing from experienced doctors, nutritionists. They spend a lot in generating this content and they don't get any money. Then why do they do that? So they do this. They generate all this content so that using this content, people will start referring. You know, after reading all these articles, there will be top doctors or top nutritionists who are having their own websites, popular websites. In those articles, in those popular websites, they will start referring to the Practo article. Now, this won't happen with a few weeks or few months or a few hundred of blogs. Believe me, you need to have at least 1,000 blogs, 1,000 blog at least minimum to break this. So once you start generating content on a particular area like healthcare or maybe finance or things like e-commerce or any education domain, whatever domain you are, you have to start generating quality content in that domain. Once you start generating quality content in that domain, people who are famous or websites which are popular in that domain will start referring back to you. When they refer back to you, what do? They will have to put a link about your website in their website. So this tractor.com, it will be different links. Say for example, 3 symptoms to identify vitamin D deficiency. See, this is the link that they will be putting over there. So this link would be put over in a popular website. When that happens, this practo.com will get the link equity. This practo.com will get the link equity of being linked to a more popular website. Okay, and it happens other way also, wherein say for example, Practo.com is talking about 3 symptoms to identify vitamin D deficiency, and in this blog, they might write. If they want, they can write about medicines or food supplements which are good for resolving vitamin deficiency. And what will they do? They can give a link to that company which is into selling of food supplements for vitamin D or medicines of vitamin D. So over here they have not done anything like that, but I'm just giving an example. When they are writing, they can write something like, to resolve vitamin D deficiency, you can take tablets like these, in which you will be linking to manufacturers of that tablets. Or you might say that to resolve vitamin D deficiency, you can take certain food supplements like protein X, etc., and then give a link to that website which is into manufacturing these food supplements. Got it? So it's a give and take policy. So you would be to an extent giving links. You would be putting links of popular websites here, and popular websites would put your link over there. Okay, it's not going to be straightforward. It's not going to be easy. This can be built only over a period of time, and it has to be built based on your relationship. So in all your blogs, you have to focus on one theme, on one domain. So the domain over here is healthcare, and I think the theme that they are promoting is wellness and preventive healthcare. These are the stuff there that Practo is into. So by generating all this content, they hope to get linking from other popular websites. So one example I can give, another example I can give, like related to Practo, is there is a website called WebMD, which is very popular, especially in US. So WebMD is a portal where you get it's very popular. It has got credibility in the internet, and it has got millions of users across the globe. And it is across the globe. Unlike Practo, it is much more popular. So if one of the Practo article gets a reference in WebMD, then that adds link equity to Practo. That's how it works. But how exactly a Practo.com can get a reference here, it won't be straightforward. It will be over a period of time. So for that, one important thing is that you need to generate as much as content as possible, and that too high quality content. You should not be writing junk. Around 7-8 years back, till 7-8 years back, what people used to do is that they used to put a lot of junk content out there in the internet, and things used to work out because the amount of information in the internet was lesser during that time. Now we have a lot of content and a big portion of this content is useless. So if you have to stand out from the crowd, you have to focus in a particular domain, and in that domain focus on certain themes and get the experts or the best people to write about that. So the content quality should be very good, and the content quantity also should be huge. You need at least 1,000 or 2,000 articles to begin with. Only then you will be noticed in the internet. Okay. So yeah, one more point is invite domain experts to write blogs. So what the point here is that, say for example, in Practo's case, I think all the doctors that I've seen in Practo are not very famous. At least those people who write blogs. What Practo can do right now is that they can invite experts. Say they can invite top doctors like one famous doctor that we all know is Dr. Devi Shetty of Narayana Hridayalaya. So he's a very popular doctor. He's one of the most famous doctors in India. He comes on TV. He talks about a lot of things. He talks about heart diseases, etc. What all precautions to take care and all. Right. So if Practo can get a doctor like that to write a blog in Practo website, that itself is a huge equity for them, because Google will already know that this particular doctor is pretty popular. Dr. Devi Shetty is pretty popular. Google will be having a link for his keyword, his website and all. His Twitter handle and all will be more popular. So when that doctor writes an article in Practo.com site, what happens is that Practo's credibility will increase. Practo's link equity will increase because it will get linked to Dr. Devi Shetty's website. Okay. So that is one more point. Invite domain experts to write blogs. So it won't be just when I say that we need more both quantity and quality of the content. Along with that, you need to have already popular, already credible people, people who have already set their credibility. You need to invite them and ask them to write blogs on your website. So how exactly you do that is up to you. There are different people, different ways people do that. There are people who are available to write these things for money. One example is this travel bloggers and all. A lot of bloggers, they get paid. So suppose you are starting a new restaurant or a new hotel, and you want to get some link equity for your website. What you can do is that you can approach the bloggers, the food bloggers or the travel bloggers. They'll take money from you, and then they'll write about you. They at certain times they might visit your premises and see how good your hotel is, and then write a review about your hotel in their website and give a link to your site. So all those things happen, and to an extent, everything is legal. To an extent, it is fine. Okay, so is that part fine? The importance of link equity and how exactly you build link with other popular websites. Now, once you start working on these things, one thing that you will understand is this is not at all easy. It's going to be very tedious. Even now, if you look at Proctor, which is a very established guy, you will not see any blog by any top doctors. So they are yet to crack that. So it will take a lot of time. These things are not easy. So one problem that you will face is that when you are struggling to get content, when you're struggling to get links, there'll be certain digital marketing agencies which might approach you, telling that if you pay them money, they will get you linking with popular websites. Okay. Now, what exactly is this popular websites will matter. Are these genuinely popular website and will you get linking from them? Then that's fine. But even then, paying agencies money won't be great. You never know what you'll end up with. So one popular stuff which happened around 2 3 years back was that reciprocal linking. So there are some websites which are popular. What they do is that instead of building their business, they focus on reciprocal linking. So they will say that you link my site and I'll link your site for you. So such reciprocal linking people used to do. But nowadays Google is having good algorithms which will filter out these things, and Google will not give enough link equity for you guys. Second thing is buying the link. So there will be already popular websites. They will say that okay, for this much amount of money, I can put your link in my website, and your website credential or link equity will go up. So this will work for some time. This will work as long as Google catches this guy. So if Google understands that this particular website, which is popular and ranked high, is using their popularity and ranking in making money and linking others, if Google catches that, then that particular website will be blacklisted. And when that particular website is blacklisted, all those sites which are linked to that site will go down in ranking. Okay. So my advice would be that do not fall for such things. So it might work for some time, but eventually Google will catch up with you guys and might affect your popularity. Okay. So always in SEO, you have to keep in mind that you are going by the rules laid out by Google. Google is the police over here. Whatever rules Google has laid out, it's better to follow them. If you do some tweaking here and there, it's fine. If you break some rules and if Google gets to know in the future, then there will be penalty on your side. Once Google stamps penalty on your side, it will take some 2 or 3 years for you guys to recover. It's going to be heavy. And there are people who had to shut down their business because Google put down penalty. Okay. So that is the point I was talking here. Don't build spammy links, don't buy links, and don't acquire reciprocal links. Now, one more thing, the links in social network. So, the specialty of social network is that it helps us to contribute, right? That's how social networks work. If you look at Tractor.com, it's not a social network. You cannot contribute, okay? You can only consume the content from Tractor.com. But if you go to a social network like Facebook, over there, Facebook actually does not generate any content. What Facebook does is that it has created a platform where people can generate content. So in that case, if you go to facebook.com and put a link, say in your post, in your status update, you put the link of your website, would it improve the ranking of your website? So any idea on that? Would it improve the ranking? That is, the question is, since social networks are open, anyone can contribute to that social network. People can go into social network, and in the status updates, you can promote your website, right? So promoting your website on Facebook.com or any social network, does that affect your ranking? So the answer is it doesn't. How many ever links that you give in Facebook.com, even though Facebook.com as such is a very popular site, whatever link you put inside Facebook.com will not have any effect. What happens is that there is something called rel equals no follow. This is one attribute which is used in a tag in websites. So if uh, how exactly this link work is that there is something called href. There is a href link. It will be a tag like this. It is just for your reference. So any link that you see in the websites, there will be a tag called href. So in that tag, if you give rel equals no follow, then and you will be giving a URL also. The URL will be your website. This is how it typically works. Okay, wherever you see a link, you click a link. What happens in the backend is that there is a href tag, and in that tag your URL will be given. So when you click on that link, it will go to your website. Okay. So in that linking, if you give rel equals no follow, what happens is that the website which is linked will not get any link equity. Okay. So first I said that if you If you are able to link your website with a popular site, you will be getting link equity, right? So the question over here is Facebook.com is one of the most popular sites. Now in Facebook.com, anyone can post anything. So if you go and put a status update, in that status update, if you put your website link, won't you get the link equity from Facebook.com? The answer is no, you won't get it, because Facebook.com uses something called rel equals no follow for all their links. Okay. So since Facebook puts this rel equals no follow, Google when it does the search engine Google when it does the search engine crawling, it will look at this rel equals no follow and understands that Facebook is not endorsing this particular business. Okay. Google will understand that Facebook is not giving link equity for this business. So because of that, whatever linking that you do in Facebook or any social network, it will not improve your ranking. Okay, is that fine? Any doubts there? Okay, great. So that's all from the on-page and off-page optimization. Now we have 10 more minutes. We have to check the assignment. So I'll just talk about the assignment for a few minutes. So this assignment is about building the SEO strategy for a company called Parent I. This Parent I company is a SaaS-based CRM software. It's a mobile application software which is used by both parents and teachers to interact with each other for the well-being and the improvement of the students. So if you look at schools, they have a mechanism of conveying messages to parents. These might be things like the examination dates, the schedule of examination, certain events being planned, or it can even be one-on-one conversation about the child, about which aspect he's doing good, he's not doing good, what all things extra parents would have to do at home. So these are the communication between parents and teachers. So Parent I is a mobile application which serves this purpose by bridging the gap between parents and teachers. So it's basically a mobile application. This mobile application can be installed in the smartphones of parents and of teachers, and through this interaction they'll be able to convey the different issues of the students or kids, the children, and improve their studies. Okay, so that's about the business of Parent I. So there are different features provided. This Word document, I guess, is shared with you. You will be able to get this Word document as part of the assignment. So there are a set of features for Parent I, like homework and assignment, school diary with notification, progress report analysis, attendance management, school notice board, student profile, online fee payment, and school messaging system. So these are the different features of Parent I. Now, what Parent I wants is that when parents, predominantly parents or teachers, search in the internet for any kind of messaging system like this, parentai.in, that is a website. That website should come up in the top 10 rank. So what all things would you have to do as a SEO consultant? What all things you would have to do to establish the presence of Parent I in Google search? How do you develop the SEO strategy? What all aspects would you consider? So unlike other assignments, this is going to be a bigger one where you'll have to do some research. You'll have to spend some time. I think the earlier assignment one was pretty simple one where you need to spend 1 or 2 hours. That's it. But this one you will have to spend around I would say 6 to 8 hours. So first thing, go through the existing website of parentai.in. Then go through all these features that Parentai has given. Then think about what all users you would like to target. You would have to make some assumptions. What sort of users are you targeting? Obviously, you can make an assumption that these are parents aged between say 30 to 50 years of age. say 35 to 50 years of age, that will be better. Professionals, because only professionals and high income people would be using a smartphone. Okay, so these guys, what would be they searching for in internet, which you would have to capture? So what are the keywords? Next, you'll have to analyze the parent website and maybe restructure the website. Say in what all ways we have to restructure, what all new pages you can add, and then say what should be the URL, what should be the title tag, what should be the meta description. You have to give examples for that. So if you go to the current Parandai website, you will see some say 5 pages or 6 pages. So you would have to give an idea saying that these pages have to be restructured in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 pages. And what should be the title tag, what should be the meta description, and what should be the URL for these pages. You have to describe that, and you have to also give the reasoning why you are giving these keywords. And then you can also talk you can give a small paragraph about the off page optimization strategy that parent I can adopt. Okay, so don't worry about the end result. Let's What I would always say is that you will never get these things right at the first step, so don't worry about those stuff. Just attempt it. Let's see what all strategies come in. Maybe you can discuss among yourself. That all, I'm fine with that, because two brains are always better than one, is what I believe. So you guys can talk, discuss, but submit the end assignment individually. Okay, develop a strategy and submit it individually. But among yourself, be open and discuss to a certain level. At least on the keyword part, you guys can discuss. Rest everything you can do it individually. Okay. So any doubts on the optimization or on the assignment? Okay, I'll stop the recording for now for this session.